Welcome to Trading Lounge and the Bitcoin report for Monday, August the 30th. So I want to go over what we've already been looking at, and certain levels have been breached. So we need to discuss those and we need to look at what's next. So in a bit of a nutshell, we're looking for wave 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 for wave C here of B, and then heading down for wave C. Now, just to go over a few little things, we'll have a look back at this on the tick chart as well. We were looking down here as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we had this, I can just use these. We had these as 1 and 2 here. And then we were looking for wave 1 here and 2 here as a possibility. We still needed the 46,500, this low here and the low of group 2, to be breached to confirm that we were actually going to be coming down for this third wave, and so on, moving down. Obviously that's not the case, and the more interesting point here now is that, just putting these back, the more interesting point here now is that this, if this 5-wave structure here and then the rally up here, so then we've basically breached this top here. Okay, so that destroys the move to the downside to a point. So what I need to talk about here now is we can first of all just remove this 1 and 2 here. So we're left with this A wave, B wave and C wave here. So that could be the end of it, and we can just push up from that point. And that would look like, I think it was maybe, we'll have a look at that in a moment, or just before we go there anyway. The other point to this is that, let's just borrow this. We could see this as the A wave down here. Oh, well, I'll put that there. The A wave there, the B wave there, and the C wave here for the A wave here, and then a B wave here, and then a C wave coming down here to this wave 4 of 1 lesser degree. So it's possible that this can pull down here and then push up from that point. But the fact is that, yes, it can come down, but we're not in a bearish pattern because we took that top out there. Okay, so we talked about this before. That would create the bearish move, a nice move through here. This top here, if that was moved, if that was breached, then that would destroy the 1, 2, 1, 2. So that's what we're sort of left with here at this point. So we could look at this as an A wave, a B wave and a C wave for the A wave, and then a B wave here, because it doesn't count very well in through here. There's a case anyway for an A wave and a B wave and a C wave up to this point of this total move here. So yeah, an A wave, a B wave. So that's possible. But in this case here, it would only basically come down to the wave 4 of 1 lesser degree and then push up from that point, because it's done that. Now it may come down here, it may not, but if it does come down, that's basically where it would come to, because it's breached that point there. That's the main takeaway with that. And I think that that would look a little bit like this here. So just sort of building back out now, we just got to have a look at the different case scenarios. So we could look at this as wave 1 here and 2 here, and then instead of having wave C here, we have 3 here, and we have an A wave, a B wave and a C wave, the 38.2% retracement level, and wave 4 of 1 lesser degree, and then we push up from that point. So that's there. I'll just try to find my other bullish count, because I haven't looked at it for a while. I think it was maybe on the 4-hour chart. Okay, so this bullish case here would be looking at this as 1 and 2 here, and then 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 here, and then pushing up for the third wave here. So we haven't seen this one for a little while. So this would be like this here. So there's a good case for that as well. So in that regard, we would only want to see, if I can just expand this open a little bit, it does look a little bit sort of corrective in that move there. But all in all, let's just say for a moment, let's look at the bigger picture, the outside picture. Let's look at the top and the bottom. and then look at this 50-60% retracement level. So it could be possible for this market just to come down to this point here and then push up from that point. So what I'm saying here, if this low here is breached or it's coming down too far here, then you know that this wave 2 possibility of wave 1 and 2 here and 1 and 2 here would be off the table at that point there as well. So that now that, yeah, so that would be what it looks like to the upside. So just to recap that a little bit, we've either, there's only two things I can see occurring here. We've either got, because that top's been breached here just by a bit, then we've either got an A wave here, B wave here, and we come down to the wave 4 of 1 lesser degree, or the 38.2%, and then we go up from that point, or we go up for 1, this is 1 and 2, and then 1 and 2, and then move up in that regard. I also want to be, when I'm saying this here, it looks quite bullish all up through here. I also do want to point out that, normally when we get to a level like, say, over here, we'll get some sort of variation of the classic trading levels pattern here. Now, the arrival, the reaction which we've had, and the first high above the level, and then the ABC pattern that can pull back down further down here, or it can just sit squarely on this level here like that and move up from that point. So they're the two things that can happen at this level. So we've had the arrival, we've had the reaction in 3. If we get 5 waves up here, then we'll either come up here in 5, come back and test it, and then move up again, or we're going to have a larger ABC pattern here. But in both cases, bullish. Okay, so yeah, so that's that. So now, yeah, so I just want to recap what I've said so far again, and then I want to have a look at the bigger bullish picture as well after that. Okay, so we could look at it as 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2. There's also another case which we need to look at as well, which we should do. I don't know the best way to look at that, but can I do it? I could just use this, yeah. So in this case here, say from this low, from the 30,000 here, we look at this as 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 here. We could look at it, we're pretty much not looking at it as wave C here anymore. We could still look at, I'll leave it out the way for the short term. So, but in the short term here, it's more possible that we're looking at a 3rd wave here and a 4th wave here. If that's not the case, then it's my other case of 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, and we continue to the upside. So we'll know that shortly. But there would be a case as well for wave 1 sitting up here and wave 2 sitting here for this as well. That means we'll have a slightly deeper retracement area there as well. I think it's a little bit of a long shot to call that 1 and 2, which would bring us back into the 50-60% area through here, just checking on that. I think that's a bit more of a long shot, so I'm just going to put it in the background, but I think it's important for me to look at everything, and then we can sort of bag them and drop them. So yeah, first of all, I mean, I'm not quite sure about this. I've looked at it on the tick chart. There's different cases for that. And yeah, I did say that we'll look on the tick chart, so we will go to the tick chart. Otherwise, maybe 50k. Okay, so we had this. I was concerned that there was a possibility that the market could drop. Okay, so there was a good case for it because we had 5 waves up, and for the B wave, and then we had this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 down here, and then for 1 and back for 2, and the speed at which this dropped here more reminded me of the beginning of a 3rd wave than than a wave C, but we need to bring it in as wave C, and then we're looking for wave 2 to come back. Technically, wave 2 can go all the way back up to this 2 here, but it can't go past that, and that's the thing. So it passed that there, so I was wrong, and then we need to look at the next situation. So we don't need that 1 and 2 there for the time being. So I'll put those there. So as I mentioned, we've either got we've got an ABC pattern here that can be the A wave, and then see, this is a little bit weird in here. That's why I'm thinking that this could also be a B wave up here. I don't know if it's the case. I've really looked at it, but I just can't get it, you know. Now on this platform, we've got a low here on this one. This is the low, but on other Bitcoin platforms, it's not the low on proper ones. So this is a CFD product. So this low here is not the low. That's the low. But I think when I looked at total, which we'll also have a look at today, I think that was the low here for that. So a bit of a mixed bag on that. But yeah, you know, we could look at it as some sort of A, B wave here, and then 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 up here. This came down pretty quickly here. So I was sort of looking at this here as this could be 5 waves down here with an A wave and a B wave, and then 5 waves up here as 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 here. So we could have a bit of a top in play here. That's what I was thinking. Obviously, if that top gets taken out, then, you know, we're on our way up there. But yeah, I'll just see how this works to the down. I mean, it could be 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 coming back here. So it would need, you know, it would need to breach, you know, a trend line or something a bit significant down here further. You know, it has to come deeper to get to do that. So it's possible this is down for 1, back for 2, down for 1, back for 2, and working lower at that point. So it's possible to have that in there. But because of this A wave, B wave, and C wave here, it's possible for this just to move straight up there. Not a problem. If it moves above here, that will give us the first high above the level, and then we'll need to watch out for this pattern before we head higher there. There'll be the classic trading levels pattern where we've got the arrival, the reaction, first high above the level, and then looking to go further up at that point. Now, I want to go and have a look at the bigger picture again with a few things. So I'm just going to take that off there, and I don't know where we were left off last time, but I'll just go to the 6-hour chart. There's a few things that I want to have a look at, but I want to have a look at it because I need to look at I don't have some of the altcoins on this platform, so I'm going to go to here. Now, you know, I've kept a little bit of an eye on some of the minings and total and a sort of a few others, but I haven't really looked at the altcoins. But before we go there, because there's something that I discovered which I think is really quite interesting. So I also, you know, with Mara and Riot here, we had this down here as the A wave and then the B wave, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for the C wave here for wave 4. Now, it's possible that that's a low in place here, but, you know, with the Bitcoin situation and, you know, if the hash rate's not ticking over, then these dudes aren't making, you know, aren't clipping your ticket, so to speak. So you needed Bitcoin to, you know, to push up really, and these are reflecting that as these are pushed up to their 50-60% retracement level. So I wasn't sure if these markets would just keep on going. I mean, based on the expanded flat version here, yeah, sure, but we could still still in 3 waves here, so it's still possible to get, you know, to you know, get to here somewhere and move lower, you know, come back down here before moving off again. So it's a bit more of a complicated sort of correction. You know, that's what we're kind of expecting with Bitcoin. So I wasn't too sure about these. And Riot's the same as well, but Riot's got a slightly better count here, because with Riot, we've had, this is wave 3 up there. Just trying to get these squashed up. We've had wave 3 here with an A wave, a B wave, and C wave down here. I'm not sure what those guys are doing there. Maybe that's, maybe I'll just put them on minutes or something. Obviously I've done some work in there and haven't done all the right things, but this is how we've originally had it here, with the A wave here, the B wave here, and then 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 here for wave 4. So this is finishing on the 13th of May here for these guys. So then it was possible to look, I also need to put that onto minutes as well, obviously. So it's the same here as well. It could pull up to the 50-60% retracement level and then move down lower from that point. So, you know, I've always been a little bit skeptical until I gather some more information. This one's lagging a little bit over Mara, but you know, so it could have some sort of A, B, and C here and fault, and then have another C wave down here for that. So quite easily. So I was never really sure if this particular pattern here could be wave 4 in here. And, you know, Bitcoin's much the same sort of pattern as well. So when we have a look at total, let's just bring total in. It's just a 2-hour chart here. So with totals, there's the same here as well. Now I could rearrange this. So once again, we've got from this low here, we've got an A and a B and a C wave up here to the 50-60% mark, and looking up from B to C as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It all made sense and it kind of fitted in sort of nicely. But once again, we've got this situation here where we've got, I don't know if you can see that very clearly, but we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 down for here. So we could have had that as 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 coming back, but it's clearly made a breach here. You know, it still could be that this all could be an ABC for the A wave, and then in here somewhere, because it's a little bit messy in here, and you see how that one's got a low here over that one. So this could be a little A, B, and C wave up to here. So once again, we have to wait here as well. So I don't know if this is going to just come down for a little C wave here for that, and then continue to push up from that point. Or we're going to have that A wave here, the B wave here, and this is wave 1 and 2 here, and we come a bit deeper down here first, and then we move off at that point. So I don't know which is the correct way that this is actually going to play out here. But one of the things that I wanted to talk about, you know, I wanted to sort of revisit this particular pattern down through here, because it's been a little bit sort of haunting in that, you know, I mean, in this case here, no, I think what I'll do is I'll just go to what I sort of discovered that slipped my my view was Cardano. Okay, so with Cardano. So what I want to point out here is that this crypto had this pattern that came down the same as Bitcoin and the rest of them, but it's made new highs up here, and I just missed this, and I should have been all over it, but obviously just been too busy and whatnot. But it's made new highs here. So that means that with Bitcoin and the other markets, this particular pattern down here, I mean, with this one here, it's a little bit different. I can go an A wave, an A, B, and C here for the B wave. And I've got a nice 5 waves down here for wave 1 and 2 and 3 here. And I can go an A and a B and probably a C in here. I haven't looked at it that much. And it does have a bit of overlap there and come down here. But it hasn't made a new low here, but it's made a new high up here. So it's possible, you know, it really gives a bit more weight for Bitcoin and others, their wave 4s to be in place. That's what I'm saying. I think that's pretty, I mean, to me it's pretty obvious and pretty exciting, and I'm a bit upset with myself that I missed that. The other point here too, that before I leave here, is that I'll need to go back over this, and I'll need to check with Kitty upon as well, because he's been counting this. And so like the other markets, this move up through here, it can be counted as 5 waves. Now, as 1 and 2, this one here may need to go over there onto this one. I'll just need to double check that. But 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 for wave 1, 2, and then this is pretty clear, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for 3 and 4 and 5 here. But the thing here is that wave 3 is also short as well, shorter than wave 1 here. So this might not be the correct count. This could just be another wave 1 up here and wave 2 coming back, and then just keep building to the upside and like powering, you know, and going on and on and on. So we'll also just need to be a little bit careful. So if this one here makes a new high, comes in here and makes that new high, that will be wave 5 at that point. So what we'll do is we'll keep an eye on this one, because this one's leading. Now, if it's going to be bullish, it will only come back 50 or 60%, and then it will move up again from that. How do you work these things? Then it'll pull up from that point. It'll either do that, and this is what we'll watch for. And already here we've got 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 in here. So in this case here, I can just see straight away that this little move in here is corrective, right? So that means that we'll make a move above here. So this one here is probably just wave 1 and 2 here, and then 3, 4, 5. So Bitcoin will also push up through here. So what we can do here is that once we do make a new high here, we'll just keep an eye on this one and see if this comes back in 3 waves. And if that's the case, then we can look at going long again at that point, because we just really need to move past that 5 wave structure here, and also possibly label it differently. So anyway, that's another story for itself, and we're going to keep an eye on that with Bitcoin. But the important point of looking at this at this particular market was just the simple fact that this here had a low in it and made a new high here. So that means that Bitcoin in one way or another can have a low in place. Now, in this case, the low is on this one here, even though it didn't make a new low below here. So this is something that we need to look at with Bitcoin. I feel that we need to put wave 4 over here for this. How we count this here is a little bit open at this stage. So we could even have this. Just doesn't really, I mean, that's 5 waves there. I mean, I'm thinking this is where it gets all a little bit iffy. We could go down for 1 and back for 2 and down for 3 and 4 and 5, all these sorts of things. But because that top's been taken out, we can call that low in there. In some cases, like with total and this one here, we can look at this as wave 1 here and 2 here and 1 and 2, sorry, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There is overlapping wave structures within that, and total is the same, but Bitcoin is not the same. So I think it's because of that overlap here, I think it's safer to call this the low and count from there. So I think that's what we can do with Bitcoin. So I need to do that. So I think that with Bitcoin, in one way or another, we can look at wave 3 up here, and how we count all of this here, I'm not quite sure yet. Okay, I don't know if we can work it this way as an ABC down to this way. I can see there's different ways of doing it. We could put wave B in here and look at this as 1 and 2 being very complicated over here, and 3 here and 4 here being simple, and then having wave 5 over here. But in one way or another, because that other market, Cardano, took a top out here, that means that we can work the pattern in the same way. Okay, so our next step really in turning bullish here is really finding this 50,000 as the support. So just going back over a couple of things, this, if we take this as the low there, we could go 1 2 1 2 1 2 and you know, continue up like that. If, however, this here, this ABC here is breached and we get a move that comes down here and then moves up to this wave 4 here, then we'll need to revisit that in a different way. If it comes down further here for any particular reason, because don't forget Cardona is going to be topping out as well. If it does come back down here further, then we'll need to put, copy that, put that there as wave 1. And I understand too that for the bearish side of things, we could also look at that as wave A here as well, and also wave B over here. So we're not sort of out of the woods yet in all this, you know, and it's very difficult working through wave 4. It's a bit of a guessing game, and you just got to be careful where you trade and kind of what you do and all those sorts of things. So yeah, all in all, in one way or another, because this is in 3 waves here, we're going to see either from this low down here or from where it is here at the moment. In one way or another, we're going to see the first high above the level. And then once we've got that in there, which can go from 51, 52 or 53, right? And then from that point, we would see it fall down at that point and have some type of correction here. And then that would leave us with this long trade setup sitting over here for this. So that's really about it at the moment. I know that I've sort of laid a lot on you, and there's a lot to sort of consider. So today was more of a general analysis talk rather than a trading talk to buy here, sell there, because yeah, we're just not in that position just yet to do that. So there's 2 opportunities that the market can come down on. One is wave 1 back to wave 2 here, or wave B. The other one is coming back to a wave 4, which we looked at, I think, on the 6 hour or 4 hour, this one here. Yep. As an A wave here, B wave here, and a C wave here for that. So we just really need to wait. But what I can say now is that if the market does come down here, we don't have to panic, right? Because the A wave here is in 3 waves. Anyway, that's my take on it. So for hodlers, yeah, just stay tight. For myself, as you may know, I wasn't prepared to, you know, if the market was going to move down through here, I wasn't prepared to hold mine. I didn't want to go through that again. I experienced that once coming down the other side, and that was okay. It was nice to join the hodling club, but I feel that I'm a little bit more professional than that, so I could work the trend because I'm okay at timing things a little bit better. Okay, I didn't time this well, but I protected my assets, and if this drops back down here, then I'll just purchase them back again at the right time. If this becomes the support over here after it has a little move up through here and comes back and tests it, and I know that that's secure at that point, then I'll move back in as well. So there's a couple of things that I can do. But I'm happy with what I've done at this particular point in time. So I'll leave it at that, and yeah, we'll look at this tomorrow. So obviously we now, you know, it's just the process of elimination. That's all it is. So we put all the counts on the table, and then we scurry through them and just monitor the situation, and we'll move in when need be. Alrighty, thanks for tuning in. Cheers.